If this video found you the snake, the archetype of the snake, the metaphysical snake, the spiritual snake, the snake within, the idea of a snake is asking you, honey, what do you need to shed? Or what have you already shed this year? In reflection to that, I appreciate you tuning into the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. This transmission is brought to you by and is courtesy of the Electric Temple. I am your self-sovereignty mentor, identity alchemist, spiritual epidemiologist. My name is Lucian St. James. And today is not going to be a deep message about how to reconceptualize yourself into a new state of being and living as the origin point of your experiences, although we're always talking about that, but just to reflect on what have you decided to unbecome. And if you haven't thought too much about that, think about it right now. You are under no obligation. Every new moment is a new moment. You are under no obligation to be who you were even when you started this video. Manifestation happens in the moment. Materialization is the mental and the psychic and the spiritual, all of the activity that happens in the realm of the imagination, as Neville Goddard would say, or in the realm of the subconscious, as Joseph Murphy would say, in the kingdom within, as Yeshua would say. But that inside space, that darkness, that void, manifestation, whatever you attach to your I am, that is happening this instant. There's no delay there. There does appear to be a delay in terms of materialization, but it's not really a delay. It's a matter of that state stabilizing and you standing in that state with certainty, and that certainty being that I'm not questioning if it's there or not. And that could also be referred to as detachment, because you talk about, well, how do I detach? How do I release concern about it? You're not releasing concern about it. You're deciding that you have it with such self-knowledge and such self-certainty that whatever the 3D is doing doesn't make any, has no effect on you. That's not bothering you because you understand that 3D reality is not source. The external is not source. What's going on out there is an effect. It is not source. You are source. And when you come to know yourself as a state of that which you desire, then it's not a matter of how do I detach? Detachment is the same thing as I already have it. You're not probably attached to the reality of, is the TV in the living room? Is the laptop in my bag? Is the phone in my hand? If you're holding your phone in your hand, you're not saying, I can't wait to have my phone in my hand. You're looking at it right here, right now. So you're detached from it, meaning you're not waiting on it to appear as evidence to your senses. You know that it is already the case because you believe it. You have certainty, you have knowledge of that. So you don't have to even end this video as the same person. You can assign a new state of self right now, but we're ending the year of the fire, of the wood snake. And we're, if we look at, Chinese astrology, and which I'm not saying that's, in this space, I'm not saying any of that stuff has control over you. I'm not saying the stars have control over you. I'm not saying that what a tarot, which I love tarot, I think it's cool. I think all of it's just revealing you to you. It's just different ways of revealing you to you. I used to play around with witchcraft until I learned, because I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I was like, so this leaf is supposed to do it? Or I was just a really bad witch. I didn't really get it. But I learned from more advanced witches, and they essentially pointed me to the power within. And I'm just like, oh, so I don't really need the leaves. So it's all just new ways of coming to understand yourself with greater depth. All of it, if it's leading you away from yourself, if you're listening to somebody who's leading you away from yourself, is saying, no, the power is out there, turn them off. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to turn them off. I'm saying that that's not going to be of any help to you and for you, because it's separating you from the power of the source that you already are. You are that which you're seeking. You are in a one-to-one relationship with everything you're experiencing. So what do you need to let go of? It's all happening now. You can be a new person right now. You can assume a new state of self, to assume the position of a new state of self right here, right now. So what do you need to shed? This was a year of burning for me. I relate with some of the more infernal archetypes, obviously with my name being Lucian. So a lot of burning for me. It was good. It's very good. The burning can hurt, but what do you need to release? I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions. I'm not talking about I'm gonna lose 15 pounds by the 15th of January, and if I don't, then I'm gonna gain 45 pounds. I'm not talking about that. What do you need to let go of? Unfortunately, I was working with some clients and they got that temptation from the old state, right? Like they assumed that new state of self. We were stabilizing that, talking about the concepts, talking about the embodiment. What does it take? And that because what appears to be a delay in the material reality, that the materializations of the old script, crept on up and offered themselves and said, hey, how about dancing with me? And that's what can happen as we're stabilizing that new state. If we get an offer from that old reality, which I believe that, the old reality and the old self really operates as a kind of entity, as a kind of, not that it's this thing that has its own agenda, but it is the remnants of a material reality that was moving with such momentum for so long that once you step out of that momentum, you're going to feel the force of it, or at least that's how I conceptualize it for myself. And they got hit with that force of the old reality and stepped back into that old script with a series of decisions, and then even worse, then started punishing themselves for making that decision. And that's the essence of self-sabotage, is believing that I am my decisions, I am the things that have happened to me, attaching all of that to the I am. You can make mistakes, you can do silly things, you can miscalculate, you can misjudge, but who do you say that you are? Are you the source, or I like to call it the origin point of your experiences? Or as another way that I refer to it, is an individualized expression of God, the IEG, or is that stuff? So what do you need to let go of? What do you need to stop assigning to yourself? I'm not even talking about changing behaviors. I'm not even talking about doing anything different. I'm not talking about a diet. I'm not talking about text this person or cut this person off. I'm not even talking about that. But who do you need to decide to stop being? And if you have trouble answering that question, well, look at your 3D as evidence as to who you've been. That does not reflect the current state. You can change states right now. The 3D on an immediate basis, likely it can, but likely is not going to reflect that. So, okay, but don't internalize that as a belief system. Don't say it can't happen immediately. I'm just saying, if you are looking at it, you're like, okay, I assigned the new state, where's my stuff, or where's the 3D reality that reflects that? That's going to require a stabilized state of certainty. But what do you want to be certain of? Do you want to continue being certain of the lack and of the scarcity, of the financial and emotional poverty? I feel like I'm of snake lineage. I am snake, asking you at the end of this year, what do you need to shed? So that's it for today. That you're under no obligation to continue being the self that you were at the beginning of the year, at the middle of the year. If you made some messed up decisions yesterday and you self-sabotaged, okay, well, there's only now. So let it be. Leave it be. You don't have to do anything with it. We're talking about unconditional allowance. All things are possible. All versions of you are possible, from the top to the bottom. The top of what you can think of, and that being a limit, and the bottom of what you can think of, and that being a limit, because we can't even conceive of all things. So why do you feel obligated to hang on to one specific thing? And it's because of to answer that question, it's because of the emotional experience associated. Dr. David R. Hawkins talks about the fact that it's not the thoughts that hurt us, it's the emotional experiences, the emotional charges that are attached to those thoughts. So thinking about, okay, well, what is the state of my predominant emotional experiences? And what are those emotional experiences? What are they reinforced by? What types of things have I entertained and allowed in my life to define me? What's the momentum that I'm rolling with? Do I want to keep rolling with that momentum? So this is a snake. I'm here as a snake asking you to shed. Asking you to shed. And if you have already shed, then celebrate. You lost things. You lost people. They weren't aligned with who you're called to be. And it might not seem that way right now. I get that. It might not seem that way, but I'm here with a word of encouragement as we ram into the year of the fire horse. Apparently, Chinese New Year didn't start till February, I think. So we still got some time to do some shedding. We're not going to be right there January 1st, but what do you need to let go?